The S&P 500 has rallied back from March lows, but not everyone's come along for the ride. Our next guest has three names that are primed to play catch-up. Let's go off the charts with Rob Sluymer of Fundstrat. Rob, great to see you. What are you looking at?
Hey, Melissa. So look, the cyclicals have had a pretty big pullback, right, as growth stocks have been rallying. And if we look at these inflection points that we see in a lot of the cyclical stocks, it's roughly every 2 to 4 weeks you get this shift from one area back to the other. We had a peak in a lot of the cyclical stocks on June 8th. That's just where the COVID concerns started to rise again. Cyclicals sold off very sharply. But most of those names now are starting to bottom. We had a very big day in small caps and high beta and cyclicals today. And really the question is that all there is? Was it just a one-day pop, or is there something more? And I think there's something more. I think it's another 2 to 4 week move to the upside favoring a lot of cyclicals. You know, if we take a look at Caterpillar, for example, you can imagine how few people want to own this deep cyclical name, but it's been in a bear market for almost 2 years. And almost back on June 25th, it started to bottom, and that relative performance started to turn up from fairly low levels around the 50-day. So even though we had a pretty big pop here in the last couple of days, I think there's still more room to go short term. And for folks that have an investment horizon looking at over the next 1 to 2 years, I think there's a lot more to go in Caterpillar. And then if we look at some of the social distancing stocks, say like the airlines, like JetBlue, for example, you know, huge correction from 16 roughly down to 10 or so, bottoming at the 50-day. Nice little relative performance hook starting to take hold. I think there's more to go on the upside. It's still very timely. You can make the same case for cruise lines, casino stocks, all those social distancing names. And the last name I'd look at, you know, the banks are still a big question mark on whether they're going to work or not. You got JP Morgan reporting it's holding in, Citigroup not so much, Wells Fargo even worse. But Silicon Valley Bank shares, I still think looks really timely at current levels. It's just pulled back to the 50-day moving average. The relative performance is turning up. So I think there's still a lot of stocks that have a lot of opportunity, and most of those are cyclicals right here.
All right, Rob, thank you for those names. Rob Sluymer of Fundstrat. Guy Adami, if you had to choose between the three, amongst the three, which would you choose?
Caterpillar, and somebody's knocking ice cubes in my kitchen. I apologize. But Caterpillar, we led the show with it, and I agree. I think there's probably 8% to the upside here. I think, you know, you see it 150 by earnings. So the name I would choose would be CAT.